What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the.
Are you ready?
You bitch ass dude. Bitch ass dude.
I set you up for that one. I knew you were going to do it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G podcast. As always, I'm Drew with OC and portions of German. We weren't able to film last week because someone decided to get an appendicitis and was being lazy as shit for like a week and a half, not getting out of bed.
No, man, I've been doing stuff. I've been reflecting on my
I
life.
was going to say something that we know that you've been doing.
Yeah. I mean, reflecting on my life, doing some writing, just figuring things out.
He was thinking of topics for today's show. So.
Nah, I've just been playing video games and masturbating for the past 2 weeks.
Well, I definitely knew the second part.
Yeah. I played some video games. I started playing Madden again. I hadn't played Madden in forever, but the pain medication had got me all fucked up the first time I took it, and I was just running 4 verts the entire time.
You didn't just tell me you're just going to smoke weed for the next 2 weeks?
No, I can't. No, not smoking weed. None of that, dude. No, I mean like the medication, like the pain meds that they gave me.
Yeah.
It was strong as fuck. Like I can see why people get addicted to that shit.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, some codeine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah. I haven't taken it lately.
Nah, you liar. It's probably in that bag right there.
Nah, I ran out of those. They only gave me like 10 of them. That was it. Or like, I think it was like 15 of them, but that was it. They didn't give me a whole lot.
Well, on the upside, you didn't have to watch the Niners play the last game of the season.
I was watching it. I was in the emergency room watching the game.
What was more painful, watching them play
or your appendix erupting?
So they gave me some morphine before they had me go back out into the waiting room. So I was on morphine. I can still feel the pain, but I was watching him, but the morphine did help. So the game hurt a lot more. Like watching it, I was like, fuck.
Watching the Cardinals put 40 plus on you guys?
The first half, it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. It was actually a close game.
It was a close game. So they had me go back in the back like at halftime, but then I came back out for like the rest of the fourth quarter, and then that's when I was like, oh my God, this sucks. Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah. And so luckily they put me down before the end of the game. Yeah. They're like, let's put you out now. Cool with it.
He's got through enough already.
I'm cool with it. Put me out. So before I saw the final score, I was already out. And then I texted my family. I was like, did the Niners win? They're like, we have something to tell you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was bad. It was a bad Sunday for me.
But you want to know what's even worse than all of that? Jake Moody is still a Niner.
As of now, that's
I would have assumed he would have been cut already.
Fired their special teams coordinator, their defensive coordinator.
Poor guy.
I mean, no. To be fair, the defense and the special teams were ass. It wasn't just Moody.
I was the special teams guy. It's almost like I feel bad because you had one guy that was absolutely terrible, and it reflects on your performance.
But if you watch the rest of the games, we were giving up kick returns and punt returns left and right, and our kickoffs sucked. The coverage, we couldn't get anything special from special teams. We couldn't do it. I mean, so it was bad.
Okay.
It wasn't just Moody. He didn't help for sure. Like he sucked, but I am surprised that he still has a job.
Yeah.
As of now.
Let's transition. Let's stop wasting our time talking about the Niners.
And start wasting our time talking about the Cowboys or the Dolphins.
We're not going to talk about any of our teams. All of our teams are god awful.
It's just
all 3 missed playoffs. We should just stop doing this podcast.
Absolutely terrible.
We want to talk about the playoffs first. We want to talk about coaches.
Let's go playoffs first. Let's tackle that.
Were you able to watch the games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's one thing that's actually like kept me from being like absolutely bored. Was at least we had the 2 bowl games on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday there were football. So that was cool. So that wasn't that bad. Like I didn't feel as guilty sitting at home just fucking not doing anything. But the games this weekend were cool. I mean, the one game that I think I got wrong was the Chargers and going into the Texans.
That wasn't the one game you got wrong.
No, I got the other ones wrong.
You picked the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
Oh no, yeah. But we never made picks for that week, right? We never made playoff picks.
I don't remember if we made playoff picks.
I don't think we did, but
we didn't
because we didn't know the matchups yet.
No, because
we didn't film that week.
Yeah, we didn't, because of you. Your fault. We should have recorded without him.
You guys should have. You guys could have.
Hey, you had the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's just go through the AFC games first. Chargers, Texans.
I mean, Justin Herbert was awful. Right?
Go ahead, OC. Go ahead. If you guys don't know, biggest Justin Herbert hater here in the entire world.
Not a hater when it's real.
I'm not hating. I'm spitting facts.
Everyone talks trash about Tua being the worst quarterback in that class, but I think we all know what the truth is.
But there's this vendetta between you and Justin Herbert, right? Because of how they picked Tua over Herbert. Yeah. And then like Brian Flores supposedly told Tua that he wanted Herbert instead of Tua.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I mean, it's the battle of mid. Both of them are I guess mid, but
Herbert has like what, one playoff win?
None. He's
None,
0-2 because they had it
against the Jaguars.
Against the Jags, 27-point lead and blew it. And Tua's only played in one of his playoff games, which was last year in that
the Kansas City,
4
right?
degrees game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Justin Herbert. It's crazy how you get carried by a team all year, and then it gets exposed inside the playoffs. It's especially I think coaching wins these games and defense, because you saw how the Eagles were able to make Jordan Love look below average, and how the Texans defense were able to make Justin Herbert look terrible.
Yeah.
And then I guess you could say the Bills to an extent clamped down on Bo Nix after that first drive, considering they didn't score after that.
Is it? I mean, watching this past weekend, and everybody was actually able to watch every single quarterback, right? Because like most games, we just kind of watch the highlights because everybody's like watching one game at a time, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's more has to do with now we're watching these quarterbacks and like seeing like the bad offensive line play, or is it just good defense, or is it bad quarterbacking?
Well, with the Charger game, it looks like a lot of bad quarterbacking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what didn't he reach his the same number of interceptions of the regular season in one playoff game?
He had 4 picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he only threw 3 all year.
I think it was 3, which is fantastic for a season. 3 in one season is great, and then you throw 4 in a playoff game. That's brutal.
I remember texting you guys the first half and telling you guys like this game sucks. Like how like
in all honesty, I was most of these playoff games bored me.
They were kind of bad.
Yeah. One silver lining for the Chargers: Ladd McConkey's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ladd McConkey he had a great season.
We had that big play, right? That 70-some yard touchdown pass.
86 yards.
86 yards. Like that actually got him back into the game, and I thought, oh man, the Chargers might.
For a second, and then they blocked the PAT and ran it back.
Yeah,
that was your favorite part of the whole game.
Yeah,
because like you were so excited, dude, texting us in all caps. Like that shit was dope.
Well, it's just I don't know. It just seemed like they when you let teams hang around like that. Because I know you guys said the game was boring in the first half, and I'm like, the Texans are gonna figure it out eventually. Like they're at home, they got the crowd behind them, and you're only up 6-0. Like you're just asking for trouble, and then sure enough, on a broken play, ball drops out of C.J. Stroud's hand on 3rd and long from his own 3, and it just sparked like a 97-yard drive, and then they got the wheels turning from there.
The Chargers never looked good throughout the whole game. I mean, they just had the one big play to McConkey, but they never looked like they were like.
And they had great field position because Stroud threw a couple interceptions too.
Yeah, he did early
and gave him the ball in great field position, and they couldn't do anything with it.
Couldn't run the ball. Couldn't do anything. The only person that was catching the ball was Ladd.
Are we putting too much pressure on Herbert, saying like, oh, he was supposed to be the one carrying the team when they couldn't even run? Or are everybody just being fair and then just being calling it as everybody sees it?
You call it how it is. I mean, you look at the quarterback and on all these teams. When the Cowboys lose, they give up 45 points at home. It's not the defense's fault. It's Dak Prescott's fault.
Yep.
So it should be the exact same with Justin Herbert. Tua, Mahomes, all these guys. It's your quarterback's fault.
It starts and ends with the quarterback. Because your quarterback don't play well, your team's not going to play well. So
I keep seeing like these things on Twitter, which is like the scenario quarterbacks. Like if being a scenario quarterback was like win you Super Bowls, and it showed like Justin Herbert if he had an offensive line, or Joe Burrow if he had an offensive line.
Oh, dude.
And they showed like highlights of Tom Brady and stuff.
If Joe Burrow had an offensive line, he'd be kind of scary, dude.
Like how many times I seen like when Jalen Hurts had down their first touchdown when he was like running around in the pocket and he had like acres of space and then was able to throw the touchdown pass. And there were so many people saying, or like, what if Justin Herbert had this offensive line? Or what if Purdy had this offensive line? Like people were just going on.
But the thing that people don't talk about is the Chargers have first round draft picks on that offensive line.
Yeah, they have Joe Alt, right?
Yeah, Joe Alt.
They just like supposedly a generational talent.
Yeah, they got him from Notre Dame. Like was one of the best tackles coming out of college last year. So it's not like he plays with a bunch of scrubs. Like he has first rounders on that line.
But to be fair, Quentin Johnson was dropping passes left and right.
Dude. Someone on Twitter said his mom needs to start sending out her resume again.
Oh, dude. That dude couldn't catch freaking syphilis in a Tijuana. Dude, it's just like it's so bad how bad he is.
All right. Enough talk of that game. We're moving on. We'll stick in the AFC. We'll go Steelers-Ravens.
I mean, you saw a better team win, and then you kind of saw the team that checked out, and the message, like we talked about earlier, the message for Tomlin's not getting across anymore in that locker room, and it honestly showed. I thought they were going to put up a bigger fight the game before when they played them, they kind of put up a bigger fight, right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Russ's interceptions, but for this week, I mean, man, it looked bad. It looked bad for the Steelers. Yeah, I think that I saw a thing where it was just like T.J. Watt didn't have a single stat, like no tackle for loss, no sack.
It was very schemed well to take their best player out of the game. There was just no pizzazz from the Steelers. It was like we're gonna lose this game. You know, we're
if you felt it, right?
Yeah, they're halfway out the door already.
Yeah,
there's just no flair. There's no energy to that, and which is really disappointing because it's a divisional rivalry game. So you would assume that there would be, some intensity there.
That's what I thought. I thought it was going to be the game of the week.
Like a typical AFC North showdown where it's very aggressive and gritty and stuff like that. And that wasn't the case at all.
Do you think this is the year that the Ravens make the run?
I was just going to say how physically imposing they looked.
When they were running the ball.
Yeah, because they were up, I think, 21-0 to start. And then I think the Steelers they scored once and they kind of got back into it.
And then Derrick Henry ran like 40-yard touchdown.
And then it was just like Baltimore just flipped the switch and said, nah, hold on, let's just put you away now. Like it feels like when they want to take over games with Derrick Henry, like they can.
I feel like it's just so dominating when a team starts running the ball like that. I think it was like their second drive where Lamar went like 4 plays in a row, like the read option kept it and was like picking up first downs. And he picked up like 3 first downs in like 4 plays. And it was just like, dude, like that's so hard to stop. That's so demeaning to a defense is when they're running the ball on you in the NFL. And it was like you talked about, like they schemed it up really well when they were running read option and they had TJ Watt just diving in every single time. And Lamar was just pulling it. And then there was guys there to make plays, but just Lamar being Lamar. And he's just fucking just outworking dudes. Like he made, I think there was one play, I think it was like early in the game where he made Minkah Fitzpatrick look average. Yeah. And just juked him out of his boots. And I was like, oh, dude, like how do you stop that?
Minkah also got blessed with a stiff arm by Derrick Henry.
I think it was a couple plays after that. Yeah. Dude.
Rough night to be a Steelers fan.
It was rough. What do they do with Tomlin? They move on? Keep him?
I don't
What do they do with Russ?
They keep him.
I think they keep him. And I think Arthur Smith is going to be Arthur Smith, right? He's going to be out as OC. He's going to probably go get a head coaching job somewhere. And then I think your next OC figures out: are you going to go Fields? Are you going to go Russ? Or are you going to go draft? I mean, there's a lot of options there. I think in Pittsburgh, I think Fields can do what Russ did.
Yeah, I think they're going to stick with Fields. They're just going to take their chances with the younger guy, the cheaper
more athletic guy.
Yeah, but they keep Tomlin. That franchise is, I think they've only had like 3 head coaches in their history.
It's like in 50 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude Chuck had Noll, another winning season.
Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin. That spans like I think like 6 or like 50 plus years. Those 3.
But how long has it been since their last playoff win? It's been like
2017.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's been a while. So, what's next?
Broncos Bills.
Bo Nix looks okay.
And that just looked like we're the better team. You were the team that got in last. We're the 2 seed, and we're gonna beat you up.
Yeah, Jess and I were sitting there watching it, and she was like, "The Bills suck." And I was like, "No, just they're gonna pull away. Just relax. They're making plays because they were getting yards in the first half. They just weren't scoring." But then, and then they just pulled away, and James Cook took over.
That game turned with that missed field goal right before halftime that could have tied it.
Oh, that was big
because that kind of deflated
The
them.
doink.
And then Bills came out second half, third quarter, and just put them away
and just dominated them. Yeah, it's one of those tune-up games in the playoffs. So
That's kind of what it was. Is get the flow of playoffs going for the Bills, and they're just better than the Broncos. There's a lot of upside though with the Broncos. I mean, I think that's the team that could be pretty good next year and even better the year after that if they continue to improve.
They'll be competitive. I mean, Bo Nix, they have a guy, right? Like
he seems pretty good.
Yeah,
he seems pretty good. One of the better quarterbacks drafted last year. Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
we'll go Eagles Packers.
Packers just super disappointing.
Extremely disappointing.
Yeah,
because the Eagles didn't look great.
No, not
that was also like the opening kickoff. Obviously, hurts. Give up quick 7.
Oh, the fumble,
but they were never really like out of it. Like
No.
it just felt like they just didn't have enough to
go over the hump.
Yeah.
Because there was, I mean, they were going back and forth. I think in that first half, with haymaker after haymaker, but then the Eagles just wouldn't pull away. Right? You would see like Jalen Hurts start to make mistakes. But then on the other side, Jordan Love just wouldn't capitalize, and then he threw a pick, and then then the second pick. I think it was the pick right before halftime that sealed it, and I was like, "That's it. They're not coming back."
Especially when you get another receiver hurt. He was.
I know his players are falling left and right.
His O-line got hurt. Right, his left guard.
They had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they had one offensive lineman. Right, he had like 3 holding calls and like.
Yeah, and they were like in the red. They were in the red zone, and it like pushed them back. Right.
Yeah, so it was a lot of negative yardage and negative plays that just they couldn't overcome. And then, but Philly, like you guys said, wasn't really as impressive.
They weren't the 2 seed. They didn't do what the Bills did. Start off a little slow, warm up, and then show that they were extremely dominant. I mean, with like 5 minutes left in the game, the Packers were still in it.
Yeah. Well,
Jordan Love is the Packers are falling apart, and Jordan Love still has an opportunity to go out there and tie the game.
Philly fans were booing them at one point during the game because of their play calling. Like they went a quick 3 and out, and I forgot what it was. It was before halftime or third quarter, and the fans were just booing them.
We'll talk about this more when we talk about head coaches, but that's Kellen Moore. It's what he does. He does something very good throughout the entire season. And he gets into playoffs and he's like, I'm going to get into my bag and we're going to mix it up because you guys have seen us do this all season long and we're going to switch it up. We're going to do this. And he's done that with Dallas. He did that with the Chargers and it doesn't work.
I do remember seeing that. And then I think it was like a 3rd and 8. And they were like driving, like heading into the red zone. They were like in field goal range, but it's just like you're trying to get 7, and then I think he like handed off to Saquon right on like a 3rd and 8, and they ran a run play, and I forgot who the commentator was. Was it Brady? I forgot who it was.
That's the Fox.
And I think he was talking about like, oh, that's good playoff football. It's just like don't go over the edge, don't take something dumb over the middle or something like that and risk an interception or anything. He was just like, just take the points here or whatever. And then the Philly fans were booing. Yeah. But then Tom Brady was like defending the play call from Kellen Moore. I do remember that.
I feel like Kellen Moore just gets a little flat in the playoffs. He did it with Dallas. He did it with the Chargers. He did it yesterday with his first playoff game with the Eagles.
I mean, anything else on that one? Or are you guys ready to move on?
I'm ready to move on. I'd see the Eagles are declining in my opinion. They're not full rev right now.
Declining.
The Cowboys fan.
He just won't give them anything.
Is that right, huh?
Watch them make a run to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And then lose to the Chiefs.
Commanders Bucks.
I mean, game of the week for sure. That was the only game that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
It was a little back and forth.
The Monday night game.
It was entertaining. Baker did Baker things, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was okay. He wasn't like I didn't think he was ever gonna fucking put the team on his back. Mike Evans looked dope. He's always a guy. He's always a threat to put the team on his back. And then on the other side, Daniels is a dude. What more is there? He's a rookie quarterback who's won a playoff game, and it's cool.
Yeah, I think we've kind of seen Baker's ceiling. I don't know if he can get much better than this right here.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good regular season quarterback. He's going to lose some games he should win. He's going to win some games he shouldn't win.
Mm-hmm.
And he can take you to the playoffs. He can win a playoff game, but I don't see him getting you over that hump. And I think that was kind of evident in this game. It's a game that they were at home, but they're hosting a wild card team that won more than 10 games. And so it's like, we can probably win this game. Should we win this game? Maybe not. And he just couldn't get it done.
Kind of felt like they didn't deserve to be there, huh?
Kind of. I mean, it's
They're by
the
default.
NFC South division winner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the Commanders are kind of impressive. They got a pretty good defense. They got a young, aspiring quarterback that you said he's won a playoff game. He looked good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not expect. I usually pick against rookie quarterbacks, and I did. I thought he was gonna get. I text you guys too, like, oh, I'm waiting for the Bucks to flex their muscle on him and like kind of make him look like he didn't know what he was doing, kind of like Jordan Love and Justin Herbert. But Jaden Daniels came to play. Like, he kept making plays, and not just plays. Like, this dude was converting third downs throughout the game. I was impressed. Like, it was like they were at a high clip. Like, he was at 5 for 8 on third downs at one point, and he just kept converting. He kept making plays after play, and I'm like, geez, like this kid doesn't act like a rookie. Like he's really he really came to play. He looked like the better quarterback between him and Baker for sure.
Oh, definitely.
And so just want to give him some respect because, I mean, I didn't expect that from a rookie in a playoff game, Sunday Night Football. The entire country's watching, you know.
I feel like those those are the difference makers, right? Those third down conversions, right? Because I feel like that's when you separate a good quarterback and a bad quarterback, it's just like watching them convert those like third downs or their fourth downs, and that's what keeps an offense going, right? And that's what we talk about. Like Justin Herbert, he wasn't converting third downs at all, right? It was just like drives kept stalling. Same thing with Jordan Love, drives kept stalling. Jalen Hurts a little bit too, you know, but then they get in those 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s and they start running the tush push, which they start converting, you know. So yeah, for Jaden to go into, you know, hostile territory, and I think being the only road team to win, right, throughout the first wild card round, right?
Technically, the Rams were on the road.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Played in a neutral stadium, but but hats off to Jaden Daniels and to Dan Quinn, and they got something going.
I was just gonna say Dan Quinn, very impressive his first year back as a head coach, and Kingsbury as the OC, like a good year.
I mean, the Commanders had the number 2 pick. Like, they were bad.
Yeah.
They were awful.
Yeah. I mean, Dan Quinn took a handful of Cowboy players and a handful of other vets came to play for him, and it's really paid off. He had a really good season. He needs to be, in my opinion, one of the coaches of the year for what he did. He took a team that was terrible last year to playing in a divisional
round. Yeah, they're not going to win. I don't think so, at least. But to make it this far in his first year, yeah, dude, it's big.
Yeah, it's good. He's a player's coach. Everywhere that he's ever been, the players just talk about how great of a coach he is personally. You know, his personality, he gets down on the same level as you. He's not I'm the head coach, you do as I say type of thing. He's the hat backwards guy, and I'm going to come hang out with you, and I'll go out to eat with you afterwards.
How huge is that Cliff Kingsbury hire, right, for Jaden?
Really good.
You bring in because like everybody was talking about how you want an offensive head coach to develop, you know, your young quarterback, but he brought in, you know, a former head coach when he was the head coach of the Cardinals, an offensive guru to mentor your guy. You think Cliff leaves after this year?
I don't think so.
No,
I think he sticks it out.
I think he. I mean, look, his run in Arizona wasn't great. He's tried the head coach's thing. He's got a good. He's got to know he's got a good gig going there in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give that another year or two and kind of see where
Just see where it goes.
where that goes.
Plus, he wanted stability. One of the reasons that's been reported that he didn't pick the Raiders was because he wanted a 3-year deal as a coordinator, and the Raiders wouldn't give him. They said no, we're only going to give you 2. So the Commanders stepped up, said, "Okay, we'll give you the 3-year deal." So that's why he went with the Commanders.
Good call for the
So
Commanders.
I don't think he'll leave this year because he obviously it's like at least a 2-year plan for him. You know.
Well, coaching is big. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Caleb and how he's being, borderline a bust or whatever. But coaching has a lot to do with it, right?
It depends on the system you're in and the franchise you go to.
Next game?
Rams Vikings.
I mean, what else than freaking Sam Darnold just keeps shooting himself in the foot, right? 2 weeks in a row.
This is the Sam Darnold I expected all season.
It sucked.
2 weeks ago, I sat here and said, well, Sam Darnold just talked himself into or played himself into a nice big contract, and then
That's out the window.
In the matter of 2 weeks, he just played himself out of it.
He lost himself a lot.
There's
of
one
money.
Minnesota Viking fan that was very happy about all of this.
Who's this?
JJ McCarthy. Job security for next season.
I mean, what happens with Darnold now? I mean, do you bring him back? I mean, the coaching that was there in Minnesota. I mean, that's that we talked about how like coaching being a big part. The coaching was a big part for Sam Darnold, right, to turn it around.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't bring him back. I don't know. Is there any team out there that saw Sam Darnold's performance throughout the season and the playoffs and thought we could use that guy?
There's going to be someone that takes him, no doubt.
But as a backup, right?
They might. They just put him on a 1-year deal, though. They're not. I don't think no one's going to give him.
Does he go back? Does he go back to San Francisco? Be a backup again?
I mean, I
mean, it turned out well for him.
He's gonna be a backup wherever he goes. Right. I don't see him starting anywhere next year.
If he goes to Atlanta, they have Kurt Darnold.
Why Penix was fantastic.
Penix. Have all three.
I don't know about
rotate
Penix
him.
being fantastic. He was good
for a rookie quarterback with like 4 weeks left in the season, getting the starting job. Pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. But yeah, I mean, it sucks for Darnold. Yeah, like you guys said, he paid himself out of a contract. We talked about.
You go play for the Jets.
We talk about.
Do that again?
I don't think he's drafted him originally.
I don't think he's gonna want that.
Depends on who's their head coach. I mean, is there any front runners for the Jets right now as a head coach?
No.
I haven't heard anything about the Jets.
I haven't heard a thing about the Jets.
Can we
give some
I
credit?
heard Rex Ryan,
Brian Flores.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the Rams?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, the Rams look good.
They look like a veteran team.
They look
in playoffs.
scary. Yeah, they look scary. I mean, I've always talked about the Rams as like when they always have a healthy group. I mean, they look good. They look unstoppable. Their defense, they've drafted really well defensively, right? Mm-hmm. Puka, he's a dude. He plays a lot stronger than he looks, right? Like when he's running over dudes, like okay, he looks good. Cooper Kupp, I mean, did Cooper Kupp have much of an impact?
One reception for 29 yards.
He just had the one big catch, right? Mm-hmm. Like down the sideline where he like was flipping backwards or whatever.
They spread it out. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers.
And then they're able to run the ball well too.
And
does not take that away from them.
Kyron Williams, 16 attempts, 76 yards.
Yeah, they're running the ball.
That West Coast style of offense, that's all the Shanahan stuff right there. It's all your motion and your run game. Mm-hmm. So, that's what they're gonna do, and they did it really well. And then they played a really tight defense and forced Sam Darnold into a lot of mistakes.
Oh man,
he was sacked 9 times.
Watching listening to.
You heard the call?
It was like the Minnesota radio host or whatever calling some of the games, and he's like, he's hanging onto the ball too long. Throw it, Sam. And then he just gets sacked and another sack, 9 yards.
Dude, I saw one. I didn't really watch any of this game. I did see one play. This is when I decided I'm not going to watch this. Sam Darnold drops back like 8 yards, and the pressure comes, and he just starts running the wrong direction.
Yeah,
and then it was like a loss of like 17 yards. I'm like, oh god.
And he was there was parts where he was
this
like,
guy.
Oh, what the hell? He just like looked like was staring off into space, like he was like in awe of like how bad he was playing. That's what he looked like right there, dude. Just face down on the ground. It was bad. He took a beating. I mean, some of those plays, yeah, you can blame the offensive line because there was a couple of ones where they were getting pressure on him. there was like a boot where he like as soon as he turned around, there was a guy like in his face. But there was other ones where he was like hanging onto the ball for like 7-8 seconds and just taking sacks, and he looked bad.
Yeah. The Rams did what they had to do. The defense really showed up. The offense did everything to not lose the game. They went out there. They passed the ball. They spread the ball around. Nothing spectacular. Stafford only threw for 209 yards, but I mean it was enough.
Yeah.
The defense showed up, and the offense is like, just don't do anything stupid. Don't turn the ball over.
Right.
Don't. Kyron Williams, stop dropping the ball. If you could do that, that'd be great.
They had a pick six, right? Or it was a fumble return? Or was it a pick six?
Jared,
because I know defensively they had a touchdown.
I think Jared Verse had the touchdown. I think it was on a scoop and score.
It was a fumble, right? I think it was like when they sacked Darnold and he fumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was only one pick six, I think, this whole weekend. And it was the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
But
Fumble,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll see what happens with Darnold and with the Vikings. I mean, I guess we can go. That can be our next segue into the next thing, right?
Preview this upcoming week.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys want to go ahead and just do it already?
All right. We'll start with
Saturday afternoon.
Chronological order. Yep. Texans at the Chiefs.
I mean,
if you pick
is
the
there a
Texans,
discussion?
if you pick the Texans, you don't know ball.
Texans are 0-5 all time in their history in divisional rounds, so I'm not picking them.
Chiefs.
Although last time they did play, I think about a month ago, it was kind of close, but it was one of those games where they were never gonna get over the hump.
Was that the Christmas game? Was that Christmas Day?
No,
Or was it the week before?
It was the week before Christmas.
It was like the Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was those Saturday games.
The Chiefs will probably start slow. This is their knockoff rust game. And it'll probably be fairly close around halftime, and then the Chiefs will do Chiefs things, and they'll win by 2 scores.
If it comes down to the wire, yeah, I'm picking Mahomes every time.
Every time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
I
unanimous Chiefs.
You're gonna see slow starts from these
2 weeks off. These guys have
from
had.
these 1 seeds.
We'll see if the Chiefs can overcome the D.O.G. curse.
I think if there's going to be a team that does it, it's going to be them. Okay, and then
clip that. We'll see.
Shit. All right, that's the afternoon Saturday game. Saturday night, Commanders at the Lions, 5:00 start.
Interesting.
Cool run by the Commanders, but I don't see the Lions. Even I know we talk about how like the 1 seed being like knocked out not every single time, but a lot of times. I'm gonna go Lions, dude.
I think this game will be down to the last 3 minutes.
You think so?
I
you think it's gonna be that close?
come down to who's gonna get the ball last.
I think it's gonna be close too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I just think the Commanders have nothing to lose, and
they're just gonna play like it.
Detroit offensively needs to score like 40 points a game right now.
Yeah.
Their defense it's so hurt. It's so bad. And I think Jaden Daniels, Kingsbury, and Dan Quinn, they're not scared to go to Detroit and play this game.
No, I don't think they're scared to go, but I feel like the Lions have such a good organization going right now. Like I feel like Dan Campbell won't allow them to play down to the Commanders level. Not saying that the Commanders are bad. I mean, far from it. I feel like the Commanders are good.
You're saying they're the superior team, and they should play like.
And they're going to play like
team.
it. And I feel like they're such a well-coached team that they're not going to allow for any dip to happen. There's going to be a dip. I feel like there's going to be, especially early on, like we've seen in some of these playoff games. But I feel like eventually Detroit's going to do their thing and they're going to pull away.
Kind of what you were saying with what we were saying about the Chiefs. So that's what you're expecting.
Yeah,
in Detroit.
yeah. That's what I'm not expecting it to be as close as you guys think.
I think it's going to become like an offensive shootout. It's going to be like 35-33 with a few minutes left in the game.
It could. I mean, it very much could.
And Jaden Daniels has a knack for coming down the wire. He did it on Sunday. Early in the year, he had that Hail Mary against the Bears. He came back against the Eagles.
Tried coming back against the Cowboys. No.
You couldn't do it, huh?
Couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, though, the Chicago one, it is Chicago.
That was the cherry on top of their season, right?
Right, and then it's also a Philly team that had Kenny Pickett on the other side, right? So I get what you're saying. You're giving credit to Jaden Daniels,
but Jaden Hurts wasn't playing defense, though.
That's true. That's true too. He wasn't.
I just think like they have nothing to lose, so those are the most dangerous teams sometimes.
They're scary.
Because it's not Sam Darnold. Jaden Daniels isn't gonna just sit there and take a sack. He's gonna make plays.
He's going to make plays, and he's
He's gonna
athletic
run
enough to get
around.
out of the pocket.
Yeah, and like you said, it might come down to the wire. Just I don't know. That's what we think. You think the Lions are gonna flex their muscle and impose their will. I think at some point Dan Campbell might make a mistake just because all the
I think
pressure.
he's the wild card.
He's his own worst enemy sometimes. And we
I
saw
feel like that is going to happen, but I feel if it's
can
going to
overcome
happen,
it.
it's going to do it. I think they could overcome it against the Commanders, but if you try that against the Chiefs, you're not. It's
No.
not happening.
See, he's going to do something like it's 4th and 5 on his own 40, 45, and he's going to go for it because he knows that if I can get this first down, I'm going to put the game away. And it's Dan Quinn you're going up against too. You got to remember that. Like
Dan Quinn's a defensive
he's
genius.
a defensive guru. So I think Detroit will win the game. I think they're going to hold themselves back a little bit. But I do think it will be a close game within the last 3 minutes.
So we're all picking Detroit.
No, I'll take the Commanders.
Okay.
OC doesn't want the curse.
He doesn't want the D.O.G.
No.
curse on Detroit. Okay.
Plus, I want to pick against Darcy.
Shout out Darcy, dude.
Darcy's not even going to watch the game.
I know he won't.
Okay, then we move to Sunday. Sunday afternoon at 12 o'clock. These times suck.
They're better than 10 a.m. and 1
Yeah.
a.m.
12 and 3:30, they still suck. It doesn't.
Yeah, but
yes,
did
I
you
get
want
what-
10 a.m.
I
and
get
1
what
p.m.?
you're saying. I get what you're saying. Why couldn't they just do what they did on Saturday, 1:30 and 5? Anyway, Rams at the Eagles. I'm picking the Rams.
Oh, what a surprise.
Doing it for LA. Doing it for LA.
Oh, shut up. No, you're not.
My prayers out to everyone from LA.
Shut up.
You guys are going to beat the Eagles.
OC?
And the Eagles have the
I'm-
worst fan base in the history of all sports.
Like, I want to pick Philly, but
Shout out Philly.
Jesus, like, if they come out with that offensive rendition and do that again this Sunday, like, McVay's going to scheme plan. Like he's gonna find ways to get his dudes open. You know what I mean? So, like, ideally, like, I want to pick the Rams, but also, like, I think it's gonna snow during this game.
It's supposed to snow.
Yeah. So that's a factor too.
Let
you know?
Kyron Williams run the ball.
Yeah, 2 running teams. I want to go with Saquon though, because I feel like that can get it done alone.
I like the Rams. I like what they're doing right now, and I feel like they can punch up at any moment. But the Rams also have an act this year for not showing up, right? There's also games where like Puka has like 2 receptions for 20 yards, right? You know, so if they struggle to get things going offensively, it's going to be a rough night. And I feel like Philly, I mean, they're not in the greatest of forms right now. But I feel like they have the roster to be able to pull away. Like if there's like a dirty game, if there's like, you know, kind of one of those nasty where like both offenses are kind of having struggle with the weather and stuff like that, I feel like Philly has the roster to pull away from that.
If Philly has to play the Rams defense that just beat up on the Vikings, they're not winning that game.
It's tough to say.
I'm gonna go with Philly just because I think somehow home field advantage and Saquon. Just because I saw what Saquon did to him last time they played on that Sunday night
He
game.
went off on them.
Home field advantage. One
Right.
stadium where they boo their own players.
Yeah.
City of brotherly love, man.
Worst fan base in all of sports.
I'm gonna go Philly, and I hate the Rams. Fuck the Rams.
Yeah, I will see. You're talking
It's a
about
divisional.
bias
Yeah,
for
it's a
me.
divisional
I
thing.
bias
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I just can't pick the Rams.
Okay,
Fuck
and then the night game, which I'm sorry,
The
the
3:30 at
afternoon,
night
the
Pacific
afternoon
time game.
Ravens at the Bills.
Oh man,
Do either
by far the
do
best
either
game.
of these guys get over the hump? Does Josh Allen get over the hump? He's never played in the AFC title game, has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to the Chiefs.
That was the title game. I thought that
Yeah,
was the divisional game.
That's the was that the overtime changing rule.
the coin flip.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
when
thought
the
that was
Chiefs.
divisional game.
No, it was the playoff game.
it
That's
divisional
that's the Stephon Diggs sitting there watching the Chiefs
I
lift the
thought we
at the
watched.
podium
I thought we watched that game during the weekday.
No.
during the weekday.
Yeah, because we were at a soccer game when we were watching this.
Was that the 13 seconds on the clock left and Mahomes scores a field goal and then they get the coin flip and then goes down the field and scores? The
Maybe.
first time in overtime. Yeah, because they were talking about how like Josh Allen never got the ball.
Yeah.
That was the AFC title game, wasn't it? I want to say it was.
Oh, so he's looking at that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll find out. We'll take a break. We'll take
Shout
this
out to
time
our
to shout out,
sponsors.
to shout out some of our sponsors.
Vizsla Sports, men's co-ed and co-ed softball team. And
Fresno Indoor.
Yeah, it says he has played in one AFC Championship game, which was 4 years ago. And it was, I think it was that game exactly that you're talking about. 2021.
The old noggin still works, man. Still working.
just not your pen.
Nah, the appendix is out. Nah, they took that sucker out of there, dude. Blasphemy from my appendix. Trying to self-sabotage myself.
Trying to bring you down from the inside.
Oh, 100%, dude. Just suicide bombed in there, dude. Just inflamed. They got it out before it burst, so that
Really?
I got lucky. Yeah.
I think my mom's burst.
That's what Angelique was telling me.
I don't think she got it out.
My mom's burst too. It was
Really?
bad. Yeah, hers was bad. Hers was like freaking 2 months recovery time.
Ugh.
It was pretty bad. Yeah.
I thought it was taking you a long time, but your mom 2 months. Brutal.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's
so far?
hereditary then, huh? So then I should look out.
I guess. Look out. It hit us both at the same age, 31.
Oh, my mom was young. My mom was like 20, 18.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah.
Were you born?
No.
No, that's all I was
wasn't
like,
alive.
yeah, you weren't even alive yet. Yeah. How old was your mom when she had you?
26.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom was 18.
Uh,
Yeah. 18, 19. I think my dad was 19. My mom was 18.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking anything else up? Or are you just texting
He's
it?
like,
No.
he goes, "Are you talking to me?" He's like, "Whoa, you guys
No,
are
but
still
yeah,
here."
it was that game where he got outdueled.
Yeah.
Okay, so does he go back to the AFC title game?
No, give me a little more. And Derek
Bias.
in.
Dolphins fan doesn't want to see the Bills win. Josh
No,
Allen,
just-
5'9", local boy.
I mean,
30 minutes that way.
they lost 38-10 earlier in the year. The Ravens beat the snot out of the Bills.
It was a beat up.
MVP candidate right here.
That's when they
Josh Allen.
That defense was physical.
Is it
Yeah.
going to be snowing?
I think it's supposed to be like 4 degrees or something.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
But hey, that's right up the alley for Derrick Henry. Imagine him running 30 times.
And
people
Lamar,
don't want this team to be in a dome. That's crazy.
oh,
Who wants to play football in 4-degree weather with snow?
People from Buffalo, apparently.
The Bills Mafia, dude. Shout out to Bills Mafia, dude.
The only people in the entire world were like, it's snowing, 12 inches, it's freezing outside,
Let's go
football
play
weather.
football.
Hell yes.
Dude, that's a different part of the world. I mean, we're all California boys. Dude, I couldn't fucking imagine playing football in the snow. Like, here in California, in the Central Valley, it doesn't fucking rain often. But when it does and we're playing football, I'm like, this
Dude,
sucks.
Our playoff game, I was like, dude, this is freezing.
Yeah, this
I am
sucks.
freezing
It was
out here.
what, 30 degrees,
Yeah.
31 degrees, something like that. Like, dude, like I mean, we're so soft when it comes to the way
weather.
everybody else plays football. I mean, to be fair, we do practice in like 110 degree weather sometimes.
Yeah, that's hard for a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. They can survive the cold.
Yeah, let's
We're
see
used to
the
We can survive
Packers
the
come
heat.
over here when it's 110. See how they like it.
I mean, even up in Santa Clara when it was like that, it was like 90 degrees and it was the hottest temperature recorded in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I was like, dude, this is a nice
This-
fucking Sunday in the spring. Like, dude,
Yeah.
this is nice. And
Dude,
everybody's
the-
like, oh my God, it's so hot.
Dude,
And I was like, what
the
fuck are
Bay
you
Area
talking
people
about?
don't know heat. They
I
have
mean,
no idea what heat is.
It blew my mind the first time I found out, like, oh yeah, we don't have an AC. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do
Yeah.
you guys survive during the summer? Like normal
don't-
people?
they
Like,
don't need it.
Not like Central Valley,
They
dude.
don't need it. Okay, back to football.
Okay.
All right, so you're taking the Ravens.
Yes.
And you, sir? Are you taking Lamar and the Ravens, Derrick Henry?
Josh Allen's my boy. I mean, Central Valley guy. He looks so good this year. It looks like he's not making any mistakes whatsoever. But Josh Allen or just Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry look so scary right now. I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Okay.
True.
It's gonna be such a close game. I think this game will be far closer than the actual AFC title game.
I think so too. It bums me out that one of these two teams are going out so early.
It doesn't bum me out. the reasons why they're going out early is because they're not good enough to play in the AFC title game.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, they should have. Neither team.
I'm gonna pick Josh Allen, and
What a surprise!
only because they're in Buffalo. That's the only reason.
You're just giving them the home
just
field
giving them
advantage.
the whole field. I'm giving them their +3.
I like
or
it.
their -3.
It's close. I think it's close.
The game's a pick 'em.
Yeah.
It's close. You're talking about previous MVP. You're talking about probably this year's MVP on one side. Both defenses have had their good games, have had their bad games.
I think Lamar might still win MVP.
He got voted AP All Pro, right?
And it's the same people that do the All Pro voting do the MVP voting. I kind of want Lamar to win MVP.
If Josh Allen can't win this MVP, he'll never win MVP. This was his best season.
It's just what Lamar does is different.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just. I mean, when you're looking at the numbers and stuff, because I mean, a lot of people compare their numbers to what Josh Allen is doing and all this and that, and you have to have the record and the narrative. But you see what Lamar has done this year. I mean, you can
5 times.
You can make the argument that he's not even the best,
12
the
and
most
5
valuable
MVP?
player on the team, right? With Derrick Henry.
Then you're giving me a bunch of ammunition to say that Josh Allen is far more valuable.
No, I think he is. I think Josh Allen's the guy who's putting the team on his back, right? I think was he they were talking about him being the only Pro Bowler to be in the Pro Bowl without having surrounding cast being in the Pro Bowl or something like that.
Maybe,
I don't know how many Bills offensive players are in the Pro Bowl this year. That's another thing we could look up.
Not very many.
It's not a lot.
Because outside of Amari Cooper, I'm trying to think of who Cook runs the ball.
James Cook and just Amari Cooper. And then Amari Cooper they acquired late.
Amari Cooper's also had a shit season.
It hasn't been great.
Yeah. So I don't know. Bills get it done. Josh Allen gets it done.
You know, Knox is kind of up and down. Who's their other tight end?
Dalton Kincaid.
Kincaid. He's up and down, right? So it's the Josh Allen show up in Buffalo. And then defensively, they're kind of they kind of spread the wealth, right? There's not a single guy on their defense.
Right. They're a strong defense by unit.
Yeah, and then they're a good defense. Don't get me wrong, but they also did give up 34 points against.
They have an
Baltimore
actual angel on their team, dude, playing safety.
Shut up.
They've got an extra guy.
Putting guys in the ambulance.
All right, so I'll pick the Bills. You guys got the Ravens.
Okay,
all right,
we'll go with that.
Is there? Do we want to change? Do you want to change your Super Bowl winner?
Oh, I mean, I have to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Do you want to change?
Well,
no, I'm still sticking with the Packers, dude.
well, maybe you just wanted to be quiet and just take the L like a man. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, it's a hard toss up. I mean, I like Detroit. Don't get me wrong. I like what they're doing. I just don't see them beating either the Chiefs or the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Or the Bills, right? Because the Bills went down to Detroit, beat them up, right, at Detroit. So I don't see that happening. I don't see the Eagles beating Detroit either if they make a run in the NFC. I can't vote against the Chiefs. Like, it's hard.
So you're on the Chief wagon.
I think
now.
the Chiefs are going to win. I think they're going to 3-peat.
Grab a seat. And what about you? You sticking with your pick?
Bro, I picked.
All right, dude. That's why I didn't say the team. That's why I said
because you don't know either.
I don't know who.
I probably picked the Chiefs too.
No, I don't think you did.
Did I?
No.
Anyways,
I feel like you picked Detroit.
I don't know.
Well, who
are you picking now?
Yeah, who are you picking now?
You said Chiefs?
I said Chiefs.
Oh, I'll go Ravens then. Come on, give me something different.
It'd be cool. I'd like to see.
Give my boy Lamar.
It would be the dopest thing to watch Lamar
Florida.
win MVP and Super Bowl MVP all in the same year. That'd be dope.
I want to see him get there.
After coming off of the contract negotiations, after being the number 32 overall pick in his draft class, like it'd be dope to see. Like he was like recruiting into Louisville without even like anybody wanting to play quarterback. Like watching his story coming up, that'd be dope. It'd be a dope ass story.
You done glazing? So I can speak.
You want me to glaze more? I can do it more.
No, I'd rather you not. I'm sticking with the Chiefs. I am changing my NFC team though.
The Eagles?
The Eagles?
No.
Ah.
Rams.
Yeah, you think the Rams?
I'm
you
gonna
think
ride
the
high
Rams
with the
will
Rams.
Put it together?
Yeah,
So you say Rams, Chiefs. You say,
Chiefs.
oh, you didn't pick an NFC team. You have to replace your Packers.
I'm gonna go Chiefs, Eagles.
Chiefs, Eagles. OC. Ravens.
Ravens. Ooh. Ravens, Eagles.
Ooh.
Gay. Both you guys picked the Eagles.
Are we all out on Detroit?
Yeah, no one picked Detroit.
Wow.
I originally had Detroit.
I thought you were gonna go Detroit.
Yeah, I thought you were going to Detroit.
Well,
I thought you
switched
were
it.
gonna go Detroit.
I was Detroit.
Did anybody think I was gonna go Detroit?
No.
I thought you were gonna go Detroit.
No,
I thought
you're
you
a
were gonna go
Glazer.
Detroit.
Darcy's loving this right now.
I-
Yeah, no one pick us.
Yeah. No,
He
I
likes
was
it.
I was
Yeah.
Detroit really the last month, but I don't know. Just I'm feeling the Rams.
One good performance against the Vikings, who were on the downward slope already.
They have the most experience out of everyone in the NFC right now.
No, I mean, the Eagles made it a couple years ago.
Who was the
They
quarterback?
didn't- well, they didn't
Who was
win.
the quarterback of that team?
No,
I'm talking about winning a Super Bowl.
winning. No, yeah, I'm saying like okay, the Rams have the edge because they won the Super Bowl, but the Eagles did make a run with Jalen, and they lost to the Chiefs. They have experience.
Experience of what? Losing? Congrats.
I mean, Dan Campbell made it to the NFC Championship game.
I'm not picking the Eagles to win. Relax, Drew.
I'm just saying.
Get out now.
Dude, if you would have picked the Eagles to win, I probably would have kicked you out the house.
How far in are we? Let's see.
I don't know. Lean forward. Come on. This
can't.
is part of your
Yeah,
physical
dude,
therapy.
fucking sucks.
Recovery.
Oh fuck. That hurt. I'm not gonna lie, that hurt. We're at like 50 minutes. You want to keep going?
53 minutes.
We can go ahead coaching
That hurt.
stuff now.
I'll hit my elbow.
Good.
All right.
Fuck you.
Check his appendix.
It's hereditary.
Oh, man. Let's go quickly through head coaching jobs that are available.
Let's talk about Dallas, the one that just opened up.
It took me by surprise.
I did say that there was going to be 6 to 7 openings.
You did, and there's 6.
I'm gonna fill out my application. See what happens.
You might be able to at
I
least get
mean,
an interview.
At least,
You're
yeah.
not-
You have a better shot at quarterback at Fresno State next year.
I'll fly
Even
to
without an
Dallas to
appendix.
interview, dude. I'll do both, dude. I don't care. Play on Sunday or play on Saturday, coach on Sunday.
I'm very concerned for the Dallas Cowboys because there's not a lot of.
Hold on. Did you see Mike McCarthy not getting an extension?
No,
You
no,
thought he was
be-
going to stay, right?
I thought he was gonna stay.
Everyone thought he was gonna.
This is true.
I said at the beginning of the season he's got to go, and then halfway through I was like, look, I
He
can
won
see
you
him
over.
staying. Yeah, he kind of improved, and then at the end of the season, I was like, I'm not upset if they get rid of him. I'm not upset if he stays. And then Jerry Jones said no to his interview with the Bears. That tells me he's staying. Why else would you say no?
Took everybody by surprise.
And then like what, 4 or 5 days later, that's it. He's out. I really think that Mike McCarthy wanted out. That's what that seemed like to me. I think he's done with the drama. Who's in, who's out? Is Dak gonna be back? Are you gonna trade Dak? Am I in? Am I out? What are you gonna do with my DC? I think he's just done with that shit.
Well, I feel like that's what's hard about that Dallas job is like you're constantly having to always look over your shoulder, right? Like it's just like for a fact that okay, I mean, how many head coaches are actually the one that's calling all the shots, right? I mean, like there's only like a handful of guys that like are actually picking the dudes that they want, right? Because normally you work with a GM, but like there you have like almost no say, right? On like who you're picking up and who you're getting. It's just like you're getting a team that's put in front of you, and then you're like, okay, good luck, and I'm gonna put the most pressure I can on you with only giving you 1-year deals because you can't implement your culture. It's always gonna be my culture here, right? Like like that's got to be hard to be like, oh yeah, sign me up, right?
Right. So, 2 coaches that have been tied to the Cowboys. Obviously, Deion Sanders.
Go Dion,
yeah, let's
let's
go.
go.
Okay. Your favorite.
Sanders,
All right.
baby.
Prime time.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Prime.
If this comes across
Where
where
a
they're
cowboy hat
gonna
on the
sign,
sideline?
they're gonna sign
look good,
Dion,
you play
and
good.
they're
You play good. They
they're
pay
gonna
good.
trade Dak. I will be on suicide watch. if
Why don't you want Dion? He's a former Cowboy.
Because I don't want Shador. Like, that's what it is. Dion, great. You want to be our head coach? Awesome. Love it. Leave your fucking kid at home. Like, don't bring your kid to work.
Damn, he's from Dallas, bro. How you gonna do that?
I don't care.
That's dirty.
I don't care.
Dude.
Leave
That's
your kid
dirty.
out. This is bring your kid to work day. No.
Who do you want, Tony Romo to be your head coach?
I've said that for years now. Give me Tony Romo. I'd take Tony Romo over
He
Dion.
wants to coach Josh Allen though.
He wants to glaze Josh Allen like this guy was glazing.
That stuff you sent us, dude, was pretty good. Not gonna lie.
And then the next one is Kellen Moore. And now,
It's the most recent one I've heard.
yeah, Kellen Moore.
That's the one I was thinking of. I'm like, wait, he's a former OC for Dallas.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would work really well with Dak Prescott. They would be on the same page. I would understand that. And here's another thing that I sent this to you yesterday. Like a local news reporter that does sports in Dallas was talking about how Jerry Jones met with McCarthy and told him he wants to bring Jason Witten into coaching the NFL.
I heard about that one too.
And essentially groom him to be a coordinator, and maybe down the line, a few years, he's a potential head coach. With McCarthy out now, it's like, well, who's going to really want to do that? Kellen Moore would do that. So if Jerry Jones wants to knock off, a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new assistant coach, we bring Jason Witten in. They played together. They were on the Cowboys at the same time.
When Kellen Moore left, whose decision was it? Was it Kellen Moore's decision or was it Mike McCarthy's decision?
Well, at the same time, it was new head coach. No, I take it back. No, it was
Because he was the offensive coordinator a couple years ago.
Yeah, he went to the Chargers.
He went to
Yeah.
the Chargers. I think it was Kellen Moore. That was
He was the one that wanted to leave.
let me spread my wings, and at the same time, Mike McCarthy was kind of like, I kind of want to call the plays. I think it was very mutual. I think Kellen wanted out of Dallas, which may mean he doesn't want back in as Dallas.
Kellen Moore would make sense if he would have stayed the offensive coordinator there in Dallas. But I feel like since he's left, I feel like maybe I think one is too soon for him to be a head coach. I feel like just a couple more years of coordinating, I think he'd be good. And then I feel like if he would have if he was like actually looking to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, I think he would have stayed in Dallas.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look likely.
I forgot to mention, I've said it many times, Jerry Jones loves his Boise boys, right? Kellen Moore, Boise.
Yeah, I mean, you can put those together. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, I feel like that job is just, it's so hard to implement your own thing, your own culture.
Right.
And I feel like Jerry eventually he's yeah, I mean, we want to make it seem like you guys have your choices to pick from. But I mean, eventually people are just going to say no to that job.
Right. Because, okay, so Ben Johnson, like we talked about, is favored to maybe go to Vegas.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Offensively, who does Vegas have where you're like, yeah, that's where I want to go? When you compare that to Dallas, where it's like, hey, they got CeeDee Lamb, they got Dak Prescott, who's above average quarterback. They're going to go young offensive line. So we'll probably draft a running back in the first round. There's a lot of upside there. But what we're not talking about is they got Jerry Jones. Who wants to work for Jerry Jones?
Nobody wants to work for Jerry Jones.
That's why you're more likely to go to Vegas. We've got less to work with in Vegas, but at least I don't got to work with Jerry Jones.
You get time to implement your culture.
Yes.
You get to work with Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
He's partial owner. You're gonna get a new GM that's coming in, right? And I feel like that GM and head coach marriage is so important that they need to be on the same page. And I feel like if you start fresh there in Vegas, it's a lot more of an appealing job than you do have the better roster in Dallas, but are you just going to be another piece of the puzzle, or are you going to be the guy, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders don't get Penton, because I think Davis is very similar to Jerry Jones. I don't think Davis cares if they're good or bad. He wants to make money.
They make money no
and
matter
the Raiders
what.
are making so much money in Vegas.
Well, every NFL team makes money no matter what.
No, ask Carolina Panthers if they're making money. Ask the Jaguars if they're making money.
$3 tickets.
Come on, bro. Let's not say every team is making money.
I get you. Okay, I get you. I get what you're saying.
But Vegas, it's because it's Vegas. They're bringing in all these opposing fans and all these teams, and people are buying bottle service, the little clubs inside the stadium.
Right.
They're making so much money. Who cares if you win the Super Bowl or not? We're fucking rich.
No, yeah, I get you. But I mean, then who takes that Dallas job then?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Jason Witten makes sense to me.
Because something too is, I mean, they haven't gotten rid of Mike Zimmer. They don't know if who's going to be the DC. Like, you can't bring in a defensive minded head coach and then you also have Zimmer. So there's a lot of questions going on here. It'll probably be Kellen Moore.
Does Zimmer get an interview?
No.
You don't think so?
No,
he's got head coaching experience in Minnesota.
Yeah, but I don't think Jerry Jones wants a defensive minded head coach.
I feel like what you need in
that's not a splash hire for him.
You think he wants to splash hire?
He does. He's all about the tabloids, getting the attention.
But Kellen Moore wouldn't be a splash hire either.
It wouldn't. So that's why I don't think he'll hire him.
Well, there's one splash hire.
That's why.
It's not going to happen.
Mike McCarthy won't be he wasn't like a splash hire. Jason Garrett wasn't a splash hire.
But
Jason Garrett is one of the worst coaches of all time.
Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl though, so
yeah,
that's the only thing he really had.
I think the pride would get Jerry Jones. Like, I even if Jerry Jones was like, this would be the best move for the Cowboys, I think Jerry Jones would be like, I'd let Dak Prescott become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Now I'm going to trade him and pay him $104 million still. That's not Jerry Jones.
Give me Dion.
I don't think so.
I want the chaos.
Man, me too.
I just want to
see Andrew's reaction.
I want the hard knocks in Dallas.
I'm going to be the meme where the guy's holding the gun and then he goes,
that's like the Shane Gillis one?
Yeah.
Like,
So you are not going to be a happy camper if they hire Dion.
If you get Dion and leave Dak, sure, I'll be fine.
No. I heard Dion says he's comfortable there at Boulder, but I think that's him
negotiating.
That's him blowing smoke.
He's negotiating.
I thought
when I read that, I was like, "That's
if you
bullshit.
really want him, you're gonna have to pay him."
Yeah, that's just little bullshit.
Give me Dion, dude. I think it's gonna be Dion. A lot of other hires make sense, but Jerry Jones doesn't make sense. I feel like just the whole Dallas Cowboys.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jason
sense.
Witten was a real candidate for the head coaching job. He coached high school football, and then he's going to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Antonio Pierce hiring again, right? That's just like you're just hiring somebody who's a fan favorite just to shut the fans up.
And I think
the difference is he's got a better roster. He's got a better roster.
I mean, I wouldn't be like, Jason Witten's our head coach, we're going to win a Super Bowl.
No. But I mean, I didn't really think that when Mike McCarthy got the job either.
I did. I thought Mike he proved to me he could win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers had a lot to do with it. Also, that defense had a lot to do with it.
The Cowboys won 12 games 3 years in a row under Mike McCarthy.
That was the year that the Packers beat the Steelers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, remember that.
Mm-hmm. In Dallas.
In Dallas, yeah.
In Dallas.
Oh, yeah. It was in Jerry World. Right.
The second home of the Green Bay Packers.
Okay. Are the Niners going to bring back Saleh as the coordinator?
Hey, he's a front runner. I'm pretty sure they offered him. If nobody else offers him a head coaching position,
I think that'd be a great job for him.
I think so too.
I feel like that's the homecoming he needs. That's what the Niners need. That's what the Niner fans want. That's what Warner needs. That's what Bosa needs.
It's what we all want. Every Niner fan wants Saleh to come back. 100%. Yeah. That's what we want. That's the guy that we want. I'm pretty sure they've already interviewed him.
It was like yesterday or the day before.
I'm pretty sure it was just like, it's either, hey, this is on the table. If you want it, it's yours. Mm-hmm. Whatever decision he decides to make. I mean, I feel like it would be good for him to take a step back from head coaching for a while and just be a defensive coordinator again. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody's going to hire him to be a head coach. I feel like he did kind of get, unfair. I wouldn't say like an unfair way of doing things there in New York. I mean, they had Zach Wilson. He turned out to be a bust, but whatever. Mm-hmm. The whole Aaron Rodgers thing was just show, right? That's the thing, is the Jets are just a whole nother other disaster that we can talk about later. But I mean, yeah, we'll see. If he wants a job and he wants to take it, it's his. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of other candidates that are going to beat him out. I mean, he's a sought-after defensive coordinator. He did good things when he was with us. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Hopefully.
I think that'll work well for everyone. Everyone would be thrilled about that.
My brother did meet him once at Topgolf in Santa Clara.
Really?
It was pretty cool.
Big ass dude, huh?
Yeah. He said it was huge. He had that beard going. Remember we had that beard? I think it was the year before they got
remember
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, it was funny.
Okay, anything else really appealing out there? Where does Ben? Let's just pick where Ben Johnson goes.
It would be cool to see him go to Chicago.
I think he's smart enough man to know I do not want to play in Chicago. Coach Chicago.
The thing is with Vegas, I mean,
I'd like to see him in Vegas, but I think he if he didn't take the Washington job last year, I don't think he's going to take the Raider job this year.
it's hard to win without a quarterback.
Would it be far
So hard
fetched?
to win.
Would it be far fetched for him to take the Saints job? NFC South, weaker division, good receiving core, and you more than likely will have the availability to go get a new quarterback.
I heard Mike McCarthy's the front runner for the Saints job.
He was coordinator for Saints for a while. I think his two options are the Bears and Saints.
Yeah, Bears and Saints were.
The thing is like I don't see him going to Chicago. I mean, it's hard to say. If I have a young quarterback, ideally I would want to pair him with a young offensive coordinator coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Kellen Moore, go ahead.
Kellen Moore, you have Ben Johnson, right? Who's the two up and coming guys. I feel like.
Do any of you guys know what Ben Johnson looks like?
Yeah.
I don't. If you put 8 guys on like a little TV screen, I wouldn't be able to tell you who
he
Ben
actually
Johnson is.
coached. He was in Miami for a while,
Really?
about 10 years ago.
Picture a white guy with a visor. It's exactly what he looks like.
He was with
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
he was with Dan Campbell when Dan Campbell was an interim coach for the Dolphins for like a couple games,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and then he stayed on staff with Adam Gase, and then I think when Brian Flores came in, Brian Flores kind of like brought in his own staff, and that's when he went back with Dan Campbell.
This is Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he controls a really good offense.
Yeah. Prototypical white dude.
This is Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. Yeah.
Like those type of guys,
Yeah.
right?
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah.
Head coach of the Vikings. What's his name again? O'Connell. Yeah, another type guy. O'Connell, who's probably, I think, one of the best coaches in the NFL right now. Like, if he was able to take that roster and do what they did this year, and, like, another team, like, imagine if they had a quarterback.
Ben
right?
Johnson, former Canadian sprinter.
Twins.
Interesting.
Twins.
I couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah.
What are we doing, dude? We're just railing into the abyss at this point.
Okay, so I Dallas Cowboys. I picked Dallas Cowboys. Ben Johnson, your head coach of Dallas Cowboys.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I think no. I'm gonna go with Chicago. I think he takes the Chicago job. I feel like he's a competitive enough guy to be like, I can take on my former team and beat them.
He would be very stupid.
I think he wants to go where there's a quarterback that he can shape. So probably Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Both Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Anything else we want to talk about?
I mean, other than that, I mean, we can pick whatever every freaking job opening, right?
We'll spend an hour talking about the Jets, dude.
Ben Johnson's gonna be like, "Oh, Dallas, give me that."
Who's gonna take the head coaching job for the Jets?
Joe Namath.
That'd be cool.
Brian Flores.
I think Brian Flores.
Brian Flores?
Yeah.
Go back to the division that you were once in with the Dolphins and Patriots.
Vrabel already, he's probably
New
the
England.
New England, right?
Yeah.
Who gets the Jaguar job? Who was taking that one?
Some Ted Lasso coming from England? I don't know.
Ben Johnson could also like say, hey, Trevor Lawrence, you got a guy that he's already paid.
Now
he's
here's
got to shape
a guy.
and develop.
Now here's a guy.
I mean, that's another one. I haven't heard too much out of Jacksonville of like who's going to be their next head coach.
They're probably interviewing small community colleges around there. Like, hey, you guys got anyone? You guys got anyone?
Your boy Arthur Smith, is that who's gonna end up there?
Oh, Arthur Smith.
He's another one, right?
I can see him being the Raiders head coach.
Bill still hasn't signed his contract over at North Carolina.
I saw today that his girlfriend went online and was like, "No, we're going to North Carolina." She's
That's
like 24 years
negotiating,
old.
dude.
Probably
That's
already taking classes
negotiating.
there. That's why.
Yeah, she transferred. She entered the transfer portal.
How would you react if the Cowboys hired Bill?
I mean,
That's
cool.
a splash higher.
Yeah, it's a splash higher. It's cool. I don't really get it because I feel like what he's could do for the defense, Zimmer could do for the defense. He's not going to bring anything to the table for the offense. He's gonna bring maybe some load of confidence to Dak, but I don't think that's like Bill Belichick worked really well with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was like that, like the enigma, right?
It's just like Mike Tomlin. He needs a quarterback.
Well, but I mean, Bill Belichick is that scary head coach where I need a quarterback that, you know, doesn't have any friends and he lives and breathes football and he doesn't need a post on Instagram. It's just 110% football, and that's not necessarily Dak Prescott. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, not at all.
I don't know. It just those two worked really well together. I think they're both kind of psychotic.
They had an awesome marriage.
Yeah, and I don't think Bill Belichick, there's a quarterback really around that he can do that with. He might be able to do that with like Derek Carr. But I don't see him being on that same level with Dak Prescott.
Now that you say that, I did really want Derek Carr to go to the Patriots before he went to the Saints when he was leaving Vegas. I do see what you see with the whole Belichick and Carr thing.
Yeah. He just needs to find the right quarterback on his wavelength, and I don't think these younger quarterbacks are it.
The two candidates, I was looking it up right now, that are there for the Jags are Ben Johnson, which is everybody's, and Liam Cohen, the OC for the Bucks.
Oh.
I mean,
I guess.
Yes.
Hey, they don't have to pay for. They'll just get them an Uber, dude. They don't got to pay for massive transportation.
It's not that far of a drive, huh? Oh,
I mean,
you go to Orlando next week, right?
Yeah, Monday I'll be in Orlando.
Ooh.
Yep.
Sounds like fun. You're gonna go to Disney World?
No,
I'm
going there for work. I'm gonna golf a lot.
I thought you were gonna go to Disney World.
We were going to, but after Christmas,
It's not
Funds said
happening,
no. Funds said no.
Are your lady going with you?
No, she's gonna stay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, that sounded like fun. I thought you guys were gonna have a blast over there.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go every year to this thing. So
next year. Next year.
Yeah,
that's cool. Good for you, man. Have fun in Orlando.
I'm gonna try. Come back with all my organs.
I hope you get appendicitis over there. No, I don't. I don't wish that on you. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I think we're good, man.
Anything else?
You got anything?
Go Ohio State. Shout out Steve. I hope Notre Dame gets crushed.
Give me Notre Dame, dude.
Fuck
I'm
Notre
tired.
Dame, by the way. Yeah.
No, fuck Ohio
Notre
State.
Dame.
Fuck Ohio State.
Oh, by the way, that's another candidate that's been getting a lot of heat. Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame.
Oh, that's another one.
To Chicago. That was another one.
I can see that to Chicago. I think that
it's right there.
That would work really well for Caleb Williams. He might be able to win 5 games next year.
I feel like he's a program guy, and I feel like he would do great with Vegas. And just completely turning around the program. That marriage with Tom Brady there. I feel like at this point, Chicago needs a coordinator. They need somebody to fix that offense. That's what needs to happen.
They need more than fix the offense.
If
he's a defensive guy, though.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like Chicago, they need an offensive-minded guy to come in and then just turn that offense around.
That would play into the hand of Chicago, though, because that's another franchise that's been like dependent off of defense for most of.
Why don't they bring him in? You can get Kellen Moore as your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get a good offensive coordinator, and then he does such a great job, and then he goes and gets a head coaching job. And then your young quarterback is left. Okay, now I have to find another coordinator.
But let's just say that's 2-3 years from now. There's gonna be another Ben Johnson 2-3 years from now.
Yeah,
Kellen Moore was Ben Johnson 2-3 years ago.
When you have a young quarterback like that, I feel like it's nice to give him a good marriage. When you have a bad program, it's good to find, okay, let's find a Dan Campbell type dude who's gonna come in and change your program around.
So Aaron Glenn doesn't get any of these jobs.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I mean, who was he with the last time he was a head coach?
Aaron Glenn?
Yeah.
He's never been a head coach.
He's never been a head coach?
No.
I could have sworn he was a head coach somewhere.
He played in the league for a while.
Right.
He's just been assisting.
As a head coach, man, I don't know. You got to coordinate. I feel like nowadays you're either
a coordinator. He's a defensive coordinator. DC. He calls the defense in Detroit.
Oh, right.
Maybe he goes to Chicago. I don't know.
I feel like when you're an offensive coordinator,
former Cowboy.
when you're an offensive coordinator, I feel like you have
the Cowboys' next head coach will not be defensive minded.
what is Dion?
He was not the next Cowboy head coach.
He's a manager.
He's a manager.
He makes sure everyone's out there for their snaps.
Give me Dion, dude.
Get out there.
Give me Dion.
Hey, you want to win Heisman? Just go play more snaps.
Give me Dion, and then you guys draft Travis Hunter. This is a good way to end it, man.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week as long as everyone keeps all their organs.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
See you guys.